You look fine.
You're fine.
All right, you guys. This is Margaret and Lainey Ross. So how long have y'all been fostering?
8 years?
8 years. And in 8 years, how many children do you think you've had?
A few.
A few.
What's a few? At least what?
Maybe
10? Maybe? 8?
maybe not even that many.
No.
About
So
6.
okay, so in 8 years, and
Seems
with the
like a
number
lot.
of children that y'all had, what keeps you guys going in this fostering business?
Just watching the struggles of these children, and trying to get them steered in the right direction. Maybe we can help somebody.
Mm-hmm. So in that in that struggle with those children, what does that look like, and how has it been for you guys as foster parents dealing with that on a daily basis?
From the screaming to the fits to it's a constant everyday struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But just supporting each other and not giving up on that child is what makes the difference.
Mm-hmm. So in those moments when that child is screaming, hollering, acting up, you're getting text messages from the school, you're getting calls from the teachers. How do you maintain your composure, and how do you go from not just saying, you know what, this is enough for me? What do you personally do, or what are your thoughts when those things are occurring?
I try to keep in the back of my mind what this child has gone through. For instance, the one that I have that we are adopting, he's 12, and I can't change him in 6 months, a year, even 2 years, because this has been allowed for 12 years. So, it's going to be an ongoing process to change him and to better him. And there has been so much disappointment and letdowns and, heartache in his life. So I try and keep that in the back of my mind and keep reassuring him that I'm not going to give up.
Mm. So let's go back 8 years, and if you could go back to your 8 years ago and be able to say or give advice to yourself, what would it be?
Be patient. Patience, patience, patience. Structure.
Consistency.
Yeah, it's got to be consistent. What you do for one, you've got to do for all. It's not
Fair across the board.
especially if you've got biological children. You've got to make sure that everything is
Right.
in line with their punishment matches. Everybody else's punishment has got to be fairly consistent. It can't take one's TV and one's radio or something like that. It's got to be, if you show out or you do what you're not supposed to do, you're going to lose privileges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's talk about the biological kids, because a lot of times we get, well, I'm going to raise them like I raise my own children, which to some degree we want you to, but how do you guys, obviously because there are rules and regulations that you have to follow as foster parents, how do you guys maintain that without it becoming an issue of comparing your biological children, because they obviously have been with you all their life, to the foster children that you have?
As far as, what do you mean comparing them as far as discipline or?
Well, as far as in your response, because obviously, while your response may or may not be different than your own biological children, just how do you guys keep a balance there?
Well, my response is definitely different than what it would be towards a foster child, simply because I'm raising my children, and they've never been taken from me, so they know what the expectations are. They know what I need out of them, and
what's expected.
Right, and there is no doubting that. And if they cross the line, they know what the consequences are. And with foster children, they have no idea. A lot of them have basically raised themselves. So you're having to teach them as if they are,
Quincy loves my dog.
Okay.
sorry, you're having to teach them skills that you've taught your children since birth.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that it's different. And as far as consequences for disruptive behaviors and things like that, it just depends on what the behavior is at that time.
And how severe it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're 5 minutes in. Any parting words? Any other words of encouragement or advice to our new foster parents that are considering fostering, or that's just getting their new placement and they just want to do good?
Get into it for the right reasons. Do not get into it thinking that you're going to make a huge difference. If you make a difference with one child out of the many that is placed with you, that is an accomplishment. And just go into it for the right reasons and stick together. Whether you have a partner or, whatever the case may be, you just have to support each other.
We've been very lucky. We've had one leave and go into the military, and so we've seen some positive. We've been in touch with several of them that we've had, so we've seen definitely some positive as they grow and mature. And I think a lot of it comes with the appreciation that they gain.
Mm-hmm.
That you're actually showing them love and taking them in, and there are going to be some bumpy roads and some rocky times. It's hard to imagine what some of these children have been through. So.
And we've had some that have had to leave, for disrupting the placement. But we still keep in touch with those children, and they keep in touch with us. So you just cannot give up. And that child needs to know that you are in it for the right reasons. They need to know that, you're not going to give up on them.
Mm. Well, thank you guys for your help and your willingness to let me video you guys. Thank you so much. In 8 years of fostering, the Rosses have fostered many children. And one of the things that we talk a lot about is when kids come to your home, what they come with, how they come here. And I guess my question to you guys is, what are you guys' thoughts about kids that come to your home from other foster homes, for one, and how they come? And then secondly, how do you guys plan or go about getting the needed things that children need that they don't come with to your home?
I'll say, start with that every one of them we've ever had show up has always been in plastic bags, whatever clothes or
Boxes.
very little. Most times it's plastic bags. Most of them, their shoes don't fit them.
Mm-hmm.
Their clothes are too tight or they're too small. And
send them with, go get them some decent luggage. Send them with things as if you would send your own children or yourself if you were to go overnight somewhere. Send them with the same things. And there's no reason for their clothes being too small or their shoes being too small. There again, that falls back into, are you in it for the right reasons?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you cannot financially support another child without any of the stipends being taken into consideration, then you don't need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is an initial investment
Right.
when they show up.
When we've had several children placed in our home to where that very night we've had to go and buy them clothes, buy them, things that they have to have. And if you're not able to do that at that very moment, then you don't need to do it. There is no reason for any child to all of their clothes to be bought from a Goodwill or a yard sale or things like that. There is a reason for the stipend. There is a reason for the clothing allowance, and that there's no reasoning to me at all for a child to have clothes just hanging on them or not fresh haircuts or just the little things like that make a huge difference in this child.
We've had them show up, no toothbrush,
Right.
no toothpaste, no way to.
And it is going to make a difference
Hair
with them
shambles.
behavior-wise, because if they see that you care about them and their appearance, they tend to care more about their appearance, and they tend to open up or do better for you.
Mm-hmm. So, in terms of when children are leaving, if a child was to leave a new foster parent's house, your advice to them would be to do what?
Send them with luggage, not with
not
bags.
necessarily luggage. You can go buy them a nice duffel bag at least. I mean,
Right.
we've had several that were short term, and we knew they were short term. We still went and invested, or went through our closet and found a nice suitcase or something that was appropriate, more so than a plastic bag or a cardboard box or something along those lines.
And never clothes that are too small, and just do away with those. But send them in something besides trash bags and boxes. I mean, that's just not acceptable.
Very good.